Hello, everyone, wherever you are, at home, in studio. Welcome to the second session of the weekly class offering here in Sarasvati, Yoga Berlin. And this session, 45-minute long, will be a practice of pranayama, the first part of it, which is ancient yogic breathing techniques or exercises, really important part of the yoga program or yoga system that maybe doesn't get so much attention, unfortunately. The second part, maybe even more important part of yoga practice, which is meditation, considered advanced yoga, but can be done by anyone. Of course, there are different stages for meditation. There are different stages of pranayama. Maybe maybe a little bit different than the normal practice that we do when we go to a class called asana, the yoga posture and movement. These practices require a lot of refinement, a lot of patience, very slow progression. And we want to make sure that no matter what we do, we maintain this very calm, easy, soft state, right? There's no use in pushing. There's no use in challenging ourselves, straining or stressing ourselves. That actually tends to backfire. So this is our highest priority. Stay very relaxed, very calm. Make sure everything is easy. If you stick to that, over time you're going to progress, but it's be a different kind of progression, one that really goes deep, actually, and into those specific practices. So last week we explored creating a kind of fuller breath, moving in different parts of the body along with the breath. Let's get right into that. And I recommend right from the start, if you can, use the Ujjayi technique. Ujjayi technique is a soft hissing sound we create while we breathe. So we breathe through the nose, but we create a soft sound at the throat, at the back of the throat. And this is the same thing we would do if we were blowing steam on a glass or mirror. It's kind of a whispering sound, you can call that. And we try to do that in a long, open sound as we breathe out, as we breathe in. And the word ujjayi means to master or mastery, referring to the fact that it takes a long time to master this kind of breath, keeping it really smooth and soft. So let's start with that and build a little bit from that in different areas and different kind of stages. So let's sit upright as much as we can, sit in a comfortable way, maybe on a meditation cushion or in a chair. You can blink your eyes closed if you prefer. You can also keep them open, whatever works for you. And whether you keep them open or closed, keep them steady, either steady towards the back of the shut or closed eyelids, or steady towards the floor in front of you if you keep them open. So it's a quality of steadiness with the gaze, the field of vision. Take a moment to start breathing through the nose and see if you can feel more comfortable with that. And in a very soft, gradual way, start introducing the Ujjayi sound, the Ujjayi technique. You can start doing that as you breathe out. And after a few times that you do it only when you breathe out, you can also do it as you breathe in if that feels comfortable. I'm going to create that sound so you can listen. And whenever you're ready, you can do it when you breathe in as well. It would sound something like this. As you continue breathing this way, naturally the breath will slow down. Naturally, it will deepen slightly. That soft sound eventually will create a very soothing effect on the nervous system. But it also has other effects. It really activates certain muscles along the spine, different muscles of breathing that keep the posture more upright, more stable. They keep the breath more effective, more efficient. Also a natural filtering of the air through the nose that really helps the air to be more clean and the way in and more regulated on the way in and out, the rhythm of the breath, the volume of the breath. Continue breathing this way and see if you can move to these different areas we explored last week. If you're not sure, you can always go back to it. I'll remind you. So we've got the belly, we can move with the breath. We've got the side ribs, the lower side ribs, we can expand like an accordion. We can also create space, a bit of a lifting, opening of the chest. Those are the three main areas along the spine that we can move when we breathe. They're a natural movement of the breath connected to the diaphragm, the main muscle of breathing. So let's do it in this way. So breathe all the way out. You can continue with the Ujjayi breath. Inhale, start with the belly, fill up the belly, then the outer ribs, and eventually maybe into the chest. And then when you breathe out, let the chest drop in, then the side ribs drop back in a little bit, and the belly is the last thing. So inhale, we move upward, feeling space, creating space, openness. Breathe out, you move downward, pulling things gently back in. And this is the natural movement of the breath. Inhale, expanding from the bottom up in this practice. And exhale, contracting gently from the top down. See if you can do that a few times with the Ujjayi breath. And if you're unable to actually move those areas, no worries at all. Just keep the intention there. Just move the breath internally with your awareness and be patient. It will come. The effect will be created if you set the intention to move the breath this way. And maybe even just imagine it moving this way. I want to ask you to also introduce or add very short gaps or pauses at the end of the inhale, at the end of the exhale. It's called shtambas, very short holds of breath, maybe 2 or 3 seconds. So at the end of the next inhale, pause for 2 or 3 seconds, feel the fullness of breath within, and then you can breathe out slowly. At the end of the exhale, hold for 2 or 3 seconds, feeling this effect of being empty of air, and continue like that a few times. And those short pauses really require full attention, awareness, to really pay attention closely to this experience of shortly stopping the breath. You feel that holding the breath creates strain or stress, tension. Don't do that. Just skip that for now. Take about 2 or 3 of these breaths. So you can really start enjoying breathing. This is really one of the most important things in this practice of pranayama. Eventually, you want to come to a place where breath becomes very pleasant. We become breath connoisseurs. Every breath creates delight within us. See if you can reach that place and maybe cultivate this attitude of taking joy in breathing. So one more breath, you can relax it for a moment. You can take a slow breath in, pause if that's available, and then a slow breath out, pause if that's available, and then relax the breath. And just take a moment with your eyes closed, just feel the effects of this short practice. And we can now put all that in a kind of a time frame, create a square shaped breath. We're going to use the count of 4 to measure the segments of the breath. Of course, if you feel this is too long for you, you can do it shorter duration, 3 or 2. If you feel it's too easy, I'll give you an option to extend it to 5 or even 6. So we're going to breathe in for the count of 4. We're going to hold for the count of 4. We're going to breathe out for the count of 4. And then we're going to hold again for the count of 4. Looks like a square. If you feel that any of that is too strenuous, please do less or skip this practice for today. Let's get ready. Let's breathe all the way out. Take a slow Ujjayi breath in, 2, 3, 4, then hold the breath calmly, 2, 3, 4, then breathe out softly, 2, 3, 4, then hold the breath again, relaxed, 2, 3, 4, and continue. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath, 2, 3, 4, breathe out slowly, 2, 3, 4, and hold again, 2, 3, 4. Continue on your own. Count yourself mentally, quietly. If you feel you want to shorten each segment, go ahead. If you want to lengthen it a bit, go ahead. We'll take another minute or so with this practice. So find the right duration of each of those segments that is sustainable, that you can continue for a few more rounds. Wonderful. Take one more round. Please finish this last round after you hold the breath out, empty of air, and then you can relax the breath and sit quietly for a moment. Wonderful. Now we're going to introduce or learn a new technique. This is not officially a pranayama practice, but it's still very important for our pranayama practice. It's considered a kriya practice, a cleansing, purifying practice. And it's a very well-known Kapalabhati, the bright skull, shining skull practice. This is a high-frequency breathing pattern. So we breathe quite fast or faster than usual. And we reverse the natural breathing pattern. Naturally, when we breathe, when you take the air in, it's more active. When you breathe out, it's a bit more passive. We're going to reverse it now. Breathing out will be active. Breathing in will be more passive. Right? So it's kind of very short, very sharp. Exhale through the nose as though you're about to blow out, or you're trying to blow out a candle, a birthday candle, or whatever it is. And at the same time that you do that, you want to draw actively the lower abdomen towards your lower back. And then you release everything, let the belly drop back out, let the breath come in, and then you're ready for the next pump. Now, a lot of us have the tendency to do it too fast and not effective. I highly recommend do it slow. Feel comfortable with every pump. Try to get the highest quality of each of those pumps and take a while to really explore this and be more and more proficient in this technique. And then you can speed it up gradually, only later. Don't skip that step. You'll end up just doing this practice for a long time ineffectively. So for this practice, we want to keep the chest exaggerated a little bit, lifting up and opening wide. Want to sit upright. The first one, you can use two thumbs and stick them in the lower belly. It's below the navel, so you can feel the movement of the lower belly. You can do it with your eyes open and closed. Take a comfortable breath in and out one time through your nose. And then we take another breath in, and we start really slow. Ten more times. And the last one. And relax here. Take a few comfortable breaths. As you stay here, relax. And just remind you, we try not to move the upper belly so much. It's really focusing on the lower abdomen, below the navel. That's why I wanted to use the thumbs and just feel the movement in where you would wear a belt, that area. We release the throat so there's no ujjayi. Everything comes in and out through the nose, very relaxed way. And a very sharp exhale, like this. We kind of push the air out as we draw the belly in, and then relax and make sure the belly releases all the way out before we do the next pump. We're not skipping, we're not rushing. The belly releasing, and then we do the next pump. All right, let's try to do it again with the hands resting on the upper belly, just trying to minimize the movement in the upper belly and focus more on the lower belly. Get ready, take a comfortable breath in and out. Lift the chest, exaggerate it a little bit. So keep the chest lifting throughout the whole practice. Whenever you're ready, breathe in comfortably and start. Ten more times. And relax the breath, relax your hands. Take a few comfortable breaths. So this practice has many benefits. We're not going to go too much into details, but for the next practice that will come after, it's really helpful. It really opens the nasal passageways, it prepares us for breathing a little bit more deliberately to the nose. But of course, it has other benefits. It's recommended to do that almost daily. And if you can, recommend at home, if you do it on your own, 3 rounds, 20 to 30 pumps each round, and about a minute rest between each round. Highly recommended. It will really create good effects for your future yoga practices. So here we go, the last round. I also remind you, do this practice while staying very calm and relaxed. The moment you feel you're getting too tense or too strained or too excited even, stop the practice, right? This is high frequency breath, but we want to stay very calm and relaxed. Here we go. Get ready. Take a full breath in and out. Another comfortable breath in and start at your own rhythm. Continue keeping the chest lifted up, focusing on the lower abdomen only, keeping the upper belly relaxed. Make sure the belly softens all the way out before you do the next pump. And 10 more pumps, your own rhythm. And you can slowly release. Close your eyes and take a few slow breaths. And feel the sensations or experience of this practice in your body. Wonderful. You can change your position a little bit if you like. We'll do our last breathing practice. It's quite a simple practice called Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama, narration for Nadi Shodhana. So basically, it's very simple. We take the breath in through one side of the nose and out through the other, and back and forth like that, in and out from each side. And for that, we use the right hand in this mudra called Vishnu mudra. See, I'm bending the two middle fingers and keeping the other finger straight. If you're not sure how to do it, make fist first. Open the thumb, pinky, and ring finger. Put this the hand under your nose so the thumb can open close the right nostril. The two other fingers can open close the left side of the nose. We push the nose on a very soft area, not where the bony part, a bit below that, right? We relax the shoulders. Left hand can stay resting on the knee as it is, or you can do this mudra, Jnana mudra, and rest the hand this way on the knee, whatever you prefer. Wonderful. If you feel that right shoulder is tense, use the left hand to support the elbow. Here we go. Let's breathe in through both sides of the nose. Breathe out through both sides of the nose. And we'll start on the left side. So close the right. Inhale through the left comfortably. And then close the left, open the right, and breathe out through the right comfortably. Just keep the right open. Then inhale through the right. Close the right, open the left, and breathe out to the left. That's one round. Let's continue. Inhale through the left. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the left. Take the breath in through the left all the way to the top of the nasal cavity or the top of the nostril. Close and open the opposite side and breathe out from the top of the nose outward. Keep that side open. Breathe in again to the top of the nostril, to the nasal cavity. Close that side, open the opposite side, and breathe out through there. Continue on your own, please, with your eyes open and closed. Inhale to one side, out to the other. And then inhale to that side, out to the other. Alternate nostril breathing. We move the breath from one side to the other in a very calm, relaxed way. Continue a few more rounds. No jive, the throat is relaxed. Do another couple of rounds. Keep everything soft and relaxed in your body. If you feel the nose is blocked, either don't close all the way, that opposite side, keep it a little bit open, or skip this practice for today and come back to it when there's less clutter in your nose, less congested. And that next round, the last round, ends when we breathe out to the left side. After you breathe out to the left side, breathe all the way out and relax your hands, your knees or thighs, and close your eyes and pay attention to how it feels right now in your body, how the breath feels right now. and the quality of awareness or what is kind of state of mind is like. Wonderful. Change positions if you need. We're going to transition now to our meditation part of this session, this practice. So sit comfortably upright, relax the shoulders again, relax the neck, relax the face. Let's start with our eyes closed. So blink them a few times and close them. And keep the breath really soft, very quiet and relaxed. Very natural breath. To settle the mind a little bit, to start working or developing what is called meditative concentration, dharana. We're just going to use the natural flow of breath without interfering, without uh, changing it, and just going to pay attention to it. We're just going to wrap the breath with our awareness. Every time the air comes in, doesn't matter if it's a second, two, or even less or more. Just going to follow the movement of air into the nose and feel it fully. Every time the air goes out on its own, we're there to witness that fully. And we're just there to receive the breath, to notice the sensations of breathing. So whenever you're ready, just notice the air coming in as it does, air going out as it does. You're just there to notice, to witness, not to do anything about it. And if you notice that you're distracted, you're lost in thoughts, spacing out, which is a very natural occurrence. We notice the breath and the mind loses interest in that quite quickly. That's why we're using, or one of the reasons we're using the breath as an object of meditative concentration. So this is a very important moment when you realize, when you notice that you are lost in thoughts, that you are distracted. And this moment is really at the heart of this practice. You want to notice that. You want to notice that thought that you just caught in a way. And what happens to it when you notice it? Does it stay the same? Does it dissolve? Does it change to something else? Don't analyze it. Don't try to understand it. Just notice things as they are. And after a moment of noticing this experience of being distracted, what happens in the mind? How does it feel in the body? Make a decision, conscious decision, full of patience, softness, to come back to the breath and start again. So noticing this moment of distraction is very important, but even more important is the decision to start again. So there's no reason to be disappointed or frustrated by being distracted, which is actually a great moment. We can really pay attention to that. We can deepen our practice from that experience, noticing that experience. And then we start again and create this habit of starting again, which we need for other stages of meditation. So start with your breath and take it from there. Try this for 2 or 3 minutes. Just a reminder, notice if you're distracted again, pay attention where you are, where's your attention, awareness. And whenever you're ready, make a decision to start again with the breath. And set the intention to stay with the breath. If you get distracted, of course, it's just happens, but you're not feeding that. You're not intentionally getting distracted. You're actually intentionally trying to stay with the breath without being ambitious, without being forceful, without being rigid. And if distraction comes, then you notice that. Try this technique for another minute or so. Very important prerequisite to meditation. If we're feeling that we need to come back to this practice, to settle the mind, if we're very agitated or restless, we might need to go back to just noticing the breath for a minute or so. Otherwise, we shift in a very soft way to actual meditation. Meditation is really not a technique so much, although some traditions do use some techniques for that, but I find it a lot more useful to look at meditation as a state, not something we do, but actually being at a certain state rather than doing something. And this is a very open, receptive state where the mind is open, very spacious to receive whatever is in any given moment. And we can move our attention from one thing to the other, but we do that with a sense of ease and lightness. It's very relaxed, very calm, and as unbiased as possible. It's more like kind of like a sweeping the floor. Eventually, you want to make sure the entire floor is clean. So we sweep in different areas, but we don't prefer one corner of the room to the other. And this is the approach. And when I say noticing things as they are, or noticing things moment by moment, I really mean anything that you can be aware of. What can you be aware of? You can be aware of the breath. We already did that. You can be aware of your body. You can feel sensations somewhere in the body, whatever it is, pressure, heaviness. You might feel itchy. You might feel hot or cold. You might feel tingling sensation of some vibration or anything at all. Be thousands and thousands of different sensations, more and more subtle sensations if you really zoom in and pay attention. So you can notice that as well. You can also notice your senses receiving information from the outer world in the form of a sound, in the form of an image, in the form of a smell, those kind of things. You can notice that. You can also notice the mind and whatever appears on the level of the mind, a thought, an emotion, a state of mind, something like that, a mood. So all these are things you can be aware of, and you try to move from one thing to the other, again, with as little bias as you can. Start whenever you're ready. Symbolically leaning back, just receiving whatever comes, whatever appears. And then whenever it appears, you immediately let it go and let it disappear or pass away or move on its own, in its own way, its own naturally, say. So a thought may rise. You don't want to hold on to it. You don't want to be interested with it. Just let it come, appear, arise, witness it as it is, and let it go. This is the kind of state and attitude you want to cultivate to arrive at meditation, which again is a state, not some technique or some accomplishment or anything like that. It's nothing that we're doing. It's really a state of fully being in every moment. There's a potential we have that we want to fulfill with this practice, potential to see or experience things as they are. And to fulfill this potential, we want to also be aware, pay attention to how we react to every appearance. Something will arise, sensation in the body, a thought, or whatever it is, a sound. We immediately attach some story to it, some idea, some opinion, some label. So we want to slowly, over time, as we pay attention to that, maybe let that go a little bit and start noticing more and more the raw appearance as it is, without all those other things, without the concepts being attached on it. That's how we move towards experiencing things as they are. Another word you can use to maybe connect to it is just feel things instead of think about them. Just feel whatever comes. Fully experience it rather than analyze it or react to it in any intellectual way. Take another minute or so to see if you can give space to that, or at least be aware of reactivity or bias or filter when it's there, and over time it will subside. Another minute to sit in meditation and just notice things as they are. And if you wish to stay a little bit longer, please stay. Otherwise, if you wish to finish the practice, you can also do that. I want to say goodbye for now. Thank you for practicing with me. Hope to see you next week, whether in person or online, or if you watch the recording afterwards. And again, you can just feel free to stay for another few minutes and continue to meditate. Thank you so much.